the garden of lost dreams, finding freedom beyond the walls. Mia lived in a quaint little cottage at the end of a quiet street, surrounded by tall hedges that seemed to grow taller each day. Once a vibrant soul who loved to dance in the sun and explore the world, she had slowly retreated into the safety of her home. The bustling sounds of the town outside now felt like a distant dream, replaced by an unshakable fear that had blossomed into agoraphobia. The first time it happened, she was on her way to a friend's gathering, a simple outing. Her heart raced, and she felt the walls of her own mind closing in. Panic washed over her like a tidal wave, leaving her breathless and paralyzed. After that day, the thought of stepping outside transformed from an exciting adventure into a daunting task, one she felt utterly unprepared for. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Mia filled her time with books, paints, and music. But each moment of creativity was tinged with the dull ache of longing for the outside world. She missed the laughter of friends, the scent of blooming flowers, and the warmth of the sun on her skin. Yet every time she thought of leaving the cottage, an invisible barrier pulled her back, locking her inside her self-imposed prison. One dreary afternoon, while rummaging through the attic for forgotten treasures, Mia stumbled upon an old, dusty key. Its ornate design sparked a flicker of curiosity in her heart. Where could this key lead? As she traced her fingers over the metal, a sense of adventure ignited within her, and she decided to investigate. With the key clutched tightly in her hand, Mia stepped out onto her porch for the first time in months. The air felt electric against her skin, a gentle breeze whispering promises of freedom. She felt a rush of anxiety, but the pull of the unknown was stronger than her fear. Taking a deep breath, she ventured into her overgrown backyard, the wild grass brushing against her ankles as she walked. There, hidden behind tangled vines and tall weeds, she discovered a weathered wooden gate. Seemingly forgotten by time, the key fit perfectly into the lock, and as she turned it, the creaking gate opened to reveal a hidden garden, a vibrant sanctuary bursting with color, light, and life. Inside the garden, Mia felt as though she had stepped into a different world. Sunlight poured through the leaves, casting playful shadows on the ground. Flowers of every hue bloomed around her, their fragrances swirling in the air, inviting her to explore. For the first time in ages, she felt a flicker of hope igniting in her chest. As she wandered through the garden, she met a wise old tortoise named Otto. With his gentle eyes and slow, deliberate movements, he embodied a sense of peace that calmed her racing heart. "Welcome, dear one," he said, his voice deep and soothing. "This garden is a safe haven for those who seek to find themselves again. Here, you can learn to breathe, to trust, and to open your heart to the world outside." Mia spent countless afternoons in the garden, immersing herself in its beauty and tranquility. Otto became her guide, teaching her to embrace each moment, to find stillness in her breath, and to listen to the whispers of her heart. He encouraged her to acknowledge her fears, not as obstacles, but as companions on her journey toward healing. As the weeks passed, Mia began to feel a profound shift within herself. The garden became a place of discovery, where she confronted her feelings, understanding that the fear that once held her captive was not an enemy but a part of her. Each day, she stepped a little farther from her cottage, exploring the edges of her comfort zone, finding joy in small victories. One bright morning, with Otto by her side, she stood at the garden gate, staring out into the world beyond. The sunlight poured down, glimmering like hope on the horizon. With a deep breath, she took a step outside, her heart pounding but alive with possibility. The world was vast and beautiful, and she felt the weight of her fears begin to lift, replaced by a sense of liberation. Mia's journey continued as she learned to cope with the challenges of agoraphobia. She discovered that the key to freedom was not simply in the absence of fear, but in the willingness to face it, one small step at a time. The garden had taught her that the world was still there, waiting for her, and within her lay the strength to embrace it. And as she stepped out into the open air, she knew that each day would be a new adventure, an exploration of life, love, and the beauty that awaited beyond her walls.